there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another Bowers News Corner where I talk about something going on in the tabletop world that intrigues me or interests me and just bring it into your eye holes because I think it might interest you. And today, we're going to be talking about what is going on over at Queen Games. Because after going through all their Kickstarters, I think I am ready to say that Queen Games has the worst customer service that I have ever seen in the history of a company on Kickstarter, and that's really saying something. So this all started as I was browsing Kickstarter, and I noticed that there was an escape game. If you're not familiar, Escape is a massively popular game. It's the number 670 game of all time. It's the number 185 family game of all time. It was actually the first game that Queen Games released on Kickstarter, and they have a family box out. And there's 4 days left to go, and they've raised $7,000 with 81 backers. And I just had to take the time to be like, what are you doing, Queen Games? To kind of, because it's astounding to me that it would be doing this poorly. It's just mind-boggling. But when you go through the Kickstarter page, and when you start to see all their other Kickstarters, you start to see why. Now, before we get into this, a lot of the time when I talk about Kickstarter companies or when I do a segment like this, people just immediately assume it's a Ponzi scheme or something like that. And I want to start off by saying I don't think that's what's happening at Queen Games. It could be, it very well could be, but I don't think that's the case because they have put out tons and tons of games. They have put out so many games, it is absolutely ridiculous. And some very, very highly rated games, as you can see right here. No. Instead, what Queen Games does is they typically only use their Kickstarters kind of as just a little extra cash on the side. Do they really need $5,000 to make this? Probably not. What's going to happen is, and this is what seems to be the case for the majority of the Queen Games Kickstarters that we're about to talk about, they just want to earn a little bit extra money for the game that they're going to put out in retail. This is coming out in September 2023. This is going to be at Essen, and so they really don't care how many they sell on Kickstarter in theory because they know they're going to release the game no matter what. At least that's what I would speculate. And once again, I'm speculating a lot here, but you'll see why. But that doesn't mean you make your Kickstarter as boring as humanly possible, which is why I have trashed on Queen Games for years and years for just having the most uninspiring and the most boring Kickstarters ever. However, as I was going through their comment section, because a lot of the times when I have feelings about a company on Kickstarter, I'll go into their comment sections and their super backers, their fans will be echoing exactly what I had to say. I noticed this post from Joe Romero. My concern is they have let's start right here. I'm in on the family Queenie combo, but I'm a little concerned with your customer service. Yeah, it's god-awful. I am still waiting for the additional content that was missing from the Helsinki campaign that I was told back in February would be shipped. You seem to be ignoring emails now. Unfortunately, this seems to be a regular issue, and that's one thing that I want to stress here. I'm going to talk about a lot of little things from Queen Games and a lot of the bad stuff, but I want you to know that it's just the tip of the iceberg. It is just I've seen quite literally probably 1,000 comments talking about missing components, quality control, worst customer service ever. Is this project dead? I had to poke them 16 times with a stick, go out to their house and throw a brick through their window and scream at them just to get help with customer service. That's how bad their customer service is. But then it gets interesting. My concern is that they have 2 active Kickstarter accounts, 9 active campaigns between them where total fulfillment has yet to been met, not including this one. Now, that's more than Monolith or Grimlord had. I don't see Queen using the same model as them. Yeah, as I mentioned. It feels like Queen uses Kickstarter as a marketing and sales opportunity rather than robbing Peter to pay Paul model, which is exactly what I just said a couple minutes earlier. However, the customer service that they have presented in these is absolutely abysmal. So let's get into it. So yes, first things foremost, they mention it here. Queen Games, small family-run operation, 6 employees in Germany, 2 in the United States of America, and they have 2 separate Kickstarter accounts. They have this one from Middletown, DE. I almost flunked out of high school, so I think that's Des Moines. No, it's Delaware. Is it Delaware? I bet it's Delaware. Boom, go me. And then they also have another one, which is the one from Germany right here, which is its own separate thing. So they have 2 separate Kickstarter accounts with games, each of which has their own sets of problems. So let's go to one of their most recent projects. We're going to work our way back because right now they have this project this absolute, skeleton of a project, Escape, which launched on 5/24/23. So we'll go to their most recent projects. It's Marrakesh, the Essential Edition. And I will say it's very confusing to try and keep track of all their different versions of the game. They have the game, then they have the Essential Editions, then they have the Anniversary Editions, then they have the Big Box Editions, and they have this, and sometimes they have both, and it's all just very confusing. But this one launched 3/21/23, and it's not great. Once again, as you can see, their customer service here is just, it's non-existent. You know what you haven't seen in anything? Them. Here we go. About 2 months ago, when the project was actually still live, they responded to comments like, hey, we're in here, look at us, we're talking to people. And then as soon as the project's over, they're like, nope, we're gone, we have nothing to say. And that is incredibly, you're going to see that a lot. That's what I'm trying to say here. You're going to see that prevalently. Once again, going back to the absolutely god-awful customer service. And this is just, it's a spotlight, and these are people with like real problems saying, hey, I contacted you, how can I get help from you? All right. But once again, I do believe this one is shipped because they're just using it again as a pre-order. Not for everybody, but I believe that one's out. So next, we go to their next project, which is Stefan Feld City Collection. If you don't know Stefan Feld, massively popular game designer. They're re-releasing, I believe, 2 of his older games, and they raised $369,000 on this one. And this one launched in February 23. So these are all relatively new pledges. And once again, just you look through these comment section, nothing. This is a live project. People don't have their stuff. 2 months. We're going on 3 months of them not responding to anybody in their comment section. And in case you're wondering, no, it's not much better in the update section, as we're going to show a little bit later on. And there's people having weird problems here, like a whole bunch of people not getting box sleeves. There's a whole bunch of people like, hey, you sent me the wrong game, or hey, you only sent me part of my order. And then this one, kind of inexcusable when you're reprinting an old game. Lots and lots of people complaining about the quality of their components. And as I went through all their Kickstarter campaigns, and there's like 80 to 90 of them, they have used it a lot. And as I went through them, because I went through them chronologically, you can slowly see throughout time their component quality has gotten worse. Like they're trying to save more money on the stuff, which is... yeah, the boxes are incredibly thin and flimsy. Picking up the deluxe version of Marrakesh, the game feels like it's going to fall out of the bottom. I really hope they will increase the box strength thickness on these new games. But anywho, we continuing on. So this one is from earlier this year. It's from January 2023. This one is for Green Planet, Powerline, and Future Energy, which I think these are 2 separate games. But anywho, we're going to get to another problem that you'll see quite a few times throughout here, which is essentially them saying, hey, production update, good news, the games are produced and we expect to start the shipping process in early June, starting with Europe. And then Vicky comes in, that's good, my friendly local game store already has Powerline on the shelf. Powerline was already released, and I've had a copy for 5 months via GameFound. It's been rebundled with the new game. And that's one thing they do a lot of. They do a lot of bundling. And it just gets really weird because people then are getting their games afterwards, and you'll see it a lot throughout their campaigns where, like, they'll be like, hey, this is currently cheaper on Amazon, or it's a bad look. It just once again goes to the fact that they don't really seem to give a damn about any of their customers, especially not on Kickstarter. Is this still in the works? It's been a long time since payment was processed and last updated. Do we have a pledge manager up yet? Give us a few days. So 4 months ago, they did respond to this one because once then they haven't shipped out. A few days later, more days later, additional days. That's a 2-month jump. There's a generous way of putting it, Chase. I reached out to them about 2 weeks ago. They said they were still working on it and would notify when it's ready. But I'm starting to wonder whether I should just consider this pledge as a loss. This just launched this year. You're doing such poor customer service that people are like, I give up. It's only been like 2.5 months, but I don't put this on Tim. I put this on them because their customer service is so damn terrible. And once again, I'm not talking about scammy stuff or Ponzi schemes. It's just, this is the worst customer service I've ever seen in my life, and it's only going to get worse. So next, and you might notice they're pretty much using Kickstarter like once every month or two as well. They use it all the time. So this one is from December 2022, so less than 6 months ago. Is there a reason why my copy of Marrakesh only has German rules and German glossary? There are no English directions in this box. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that too. And in fact, I have a personal experience with that. I have not reviewed a Queen Games game in a long time. But remember, Immortals came out a couple of years ago. I thought it looked good. And I was like, hey, can I review this? They gave me a copy at the convention, and then I've never reviewed it. And I never have reviewed it because it was missing like tons of valuable components. It's just it's mind-boggling. And if you go through all these Kickstarters, and I do, we're going to go through a couple more, but then I also have some of my favorite, my greatest hits of Queen games from the comment sections that I sifted through. It's just, it's insanity how bad they are at their job. Especially if you're outside of the United States. If you are outside of the United States, I in no way, shape, or form would ever recommend you back a Queen's game. It is just abysmal how they treat those customers. And I'm not even talking about the price of shipping. It's just, oh yeah. I just received my copy of Marrakesh without shipping notice. I have no clue where the other 3 games are. More people with the same problem? Didn't get an email earlier today that there weren't enough copies of Classic Hamburg, so now I'm getting the deluxe version without the game trays. Before you launch a campaign, you should know how many copies you've got left. Right? Same. I've only received Marrakesh. Where are the other 3s? Hello, I wanted New York and not Marrakesh. Where do I send Marrakesh back to? So they just sent a game, like, it's just astoundingly bad. And I feel like I was mentioning this in another project because it's just consistent. It's deja vu over and over and over again. So now we have the Red Palace. This one was launched 11, so November 2022, so not so far away. Pledge Manager, +1, almost mid-May. Would love to hear some good news on the shipping schedules. Anything in plan? Any news about translation? 1 month ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And you notice, once again, as I mentioned, who's not in here? Who's not in the comment section at all? Oh yeah, it's Queen Games, because the project ended 6 months ago, and as soon as the project goes, they're gone. We have nothing to say to you. And that is something that I'm going to spotlight even more a little bit later, and what is one of the ballsiest decisions that I've ever seen by a game company. So now we have Queen Games' big box campaign, which by itself, like when you see the fact that this has only raised 18,000 euros and you have 3 big boxes for 3 very highly acclaimed Kickstarters, it's befuddling to me that you wouldn't think to put more effort into these Kickstarter campaigns. Like it's like I always say, like sometimes bad Kickstarter companies get away with things because they have products that everybody wants. It's like when you see that big video game IP from Mythic Games that's probably going to launch, in a month or two, and people will still back it. Why? Because they have what we want. Queen Games has what people want, and they still aren't even making that much money because they do such a terrible job on everything around their Kickstarters. It's astounding, and hopefully this is a come to Jesus talk with someone in Germany who's like, man, maybe if we actually did put some more effort into our Kickstarters, we could make hundreds of thousands of extra dollars. Like on this tweet I sent to them about the Escape family game, I literally said, how much money do you think they're leaving on the table for this? And I would not be surprised after going through this project if there's like $1 million left on the table for these projects just because they did such terrible Kickstarters. I made a partner's request and have heard nothing yet, never received the acrylic tiles, still waiting in Minnesota. I have missing and damaged items, missing escape roll for my pledge, and once again, you'll notice one thing, hey, where are they? Where are they? Oh, hey, 5 months ago, we respond. Since then, absolutely nothing. And these are for 3 really, really popular games. It's just, and if I sound like I'm hammering on them, it is. It's because they deserve it. And it's just, it's astounding. It's astounding. I went through so many of their projects and just over and over, like, here we go. Hey, we got Kingdom Builder Anniversary Edition by Donald X. Farino, who, by the way, we got to talk about some old dirty business where apparently they didn't pay him as much as they were supposed to pay him, and they had to cancel a Kickstarter because of it. We'll talk about that in the quick hitter segment of the Queen Games, why they're so bad at customer service and other things, part of this video. But yes, they decided on the tried and true strategy of having one update. One. That's it. It launched in September. It funded in October. They had one update in February. And that's all you get. I have never in my life seen a Kickstarter for a board game that had one update. That was like obviously if the game's unsuccessful, I get that, but this was successful. Pretty sure I'm done with Queen Games on Kickstarter. Always something new that comes out that makes prior versions less desirable and about the worst communication I've seen. Yeah, because this is once again where I'm getting into the weirdness where there's anniversary editions and there's deluxe editions and there's big box editions and it's all very confusing. And yeah, just +1. How is it just people? Just it's the customer service. It's so bad. And then we're gonna keep going because this one's from last year too. So 6/22. Still waiting on shipping notice in Western Canada. Eastern Canada here. Got nothing. We still have not received our copy. I contacted them and they sent a tracking. I didn't receive Copenhagen. Just, once again, just no response whatsoever. Long gaps in between contacting as well. Just abysmal. Just abysmal customer service. So fulfillment updates. Well, since you had an update from us, I don't know why I spotlighted this one, but rest assured that we have been busy behind the scenes getting everything ready for you so I can come with good news. We've been filling this campaign throughout April. Got my shipping. I received a damaged rule booklet. I contacted support. They say they're not replacing or get what gives. Bad Mojo Queen. Yeah, it's just every single campaign. Just poor components, poor component quality. This, that, the other thing. Missing Queenies. I got the wrong game. I got the. So this one, once again, I don't know why I spotlighted the Merlin big box, but you get it. You get it. It's abysmal customer service. And at the end of the day, oh, it's this one. Yeah, this is the one that rubbed me wrong too. So they actively pick and choose the comments they respond to. Because like all this right here, all this negativity. Do we want to respond to this? Nah. We got nothing to say to this stuff. But then we get something nice. Hey, smiley face. So they're there. They just don't want to respond to things. But now we'll get to the quick hitters. We'll get to the little quick things, more bad stuff that I noticed as I was going through it, and I wanted to mention it. So first one, this one's just, I thought was more funny than anything. You ship my games using my Kickstarter name and not my real name. Do you know how difficult it is to convince the post office that you are Batman? And once again, that's probably none of them. That might be on the people they're working with, but you are who you work with. I just thought that was funny. Then we have Captain Silver and Cobalt, because this is another thing they do. They have these really weird campaigns that like next to nobody backs, but they fund because they're pretty much, once again, just launching Kickstarter pre-orders. And they say, you can buy all these cheaper online yourself. You can literally buy these all on Amazon right now for cheaper than the price that they have here. And then the Queen Games is like, oh, no. See, it's just we're trying to help out the people who aren't in America who can't buy it on Amazon. And it's a bad look. And they canceled the project. And so, yeah, it was bad. It was a bad look. We got this one. So what do we got here? Shipping starting soon. Oh, this is another one of the dreaded one update ones. Because they were like, hey, who wants more than one update? Not you. Not you. We know that. Just one update. So this one's for Luxor. If I could, I'd put a minus 10,000 stars on this. Been charged for my retailer pledge. Ooh, retailer pledge. Had my email for an order, answered, and then never had any questions. Sorry, Queen Games, but I will never back a game from you on Kickstarter in my life. Not only did you trick people into funding your production, but you sold all the content from this campaign at Essen just a few weeks after I got my game for a much smaller price. I paid $78 for the content you sold for $49 at Essen Spiel 2018. And once again, this is a running theme. This is a running theme of just them deep discounting things on Amazon. And I've seen that before. Like if you check the cheap section on Amazon, I don't know if they do it as much now, you could find a lot of their games for like $5, $6, $7, $8. Even the so-called exclusive Queenie bonus content, not to mention that I paid $10 shipping. So yeah, just terrible customer service. This one I thought was particularly interesting. So this was an expansion to a game called Monuments. And there was supposed to be a USA expansion that they were selling people that you could buy. Development on the World Monuments USA expansion is completed. However, due to some uncontrollable delays, production and shipment will not be possible as estimated. Due to these delays, we anticipated having it in print and available to shipped in March 2017 and no later than April 2017. Fast forward, was that 10 months? The update is for those backers who choose to add the USA expansion to their World Monuments pledge. It's not happening. It kind of sucks. It's not fun to play. We just kind of sold it in advance, on accident. Now, they did try and do their best to remedy the situation. It's just It's astounding that that sort of thing happens. And then this is the last one I'll harp on a little bit. And this one goes back a ways. But Donald X. Vaccarino, the creator of Kingdom Builder and Dominion, it's the first deck building game, so he's popular for that. They didn't pay him all the money they were supposed to pay him. They paid him only partially what they were supposed to pay him, and so they had to like pull down a project, which is it's never a good look. And yeah, but that's Queen Games. Their slogan is never a good look, especially if you're backing on Kickstarter. And so the video pretty much is just, hey, if you were considering backing something on Kickstarter from Queen Games ever, maybe wait, maybe buy it on Amazon or at a convention later, and especially if you're outside the United States of America, just absolutely no bueno. But I was kind of shocked, honestly, the deeper and deeper I got into this, because I like a lot of Queen Games games. Like, I really do. I think they make some fantastic games. But holy guacamole, there is so much smoke here. It is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, once again, so they're up to 90 projects created on there, and just some of the worst customer service that I have ever seen in my life. So there you go. That's it. That's Bauer Does News, when I find something interesting on Kickstarter and bring it to your eye holes. But let me know in the comments below, what's your experience with Queen Games? Because I'm sure in the 90 campaigns that I skimmed through the comments, there were some big honkers that I missed there. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to pin that if I feel like it's juicy enough. Unfortunately, I can only pin one thing at a time. But as always, if you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. Bye-bye.